Yes, welcome to the Gov Shack. So happy to have you guys with me this afternoon. It is the noontime version of the Gov Shack. Usually you see it sometimes on Mondays at 8 p.m., but it's also Wednesdays at noon. Now, I want to do today's show heavily about what I mentioned, obviously, which is the Republican nominee or supposed nominee at the moment. So person who's running, I would say, is Elise Stefanik out of northern New York or North Country, that area, and why she does or doesn't matter and what the issue is behind her. But I do want to make a quick shout out to a gentleman who I know who was in the libertarian movement who recently passed, a guy named Ian Peake, who was someone who I knew not well, but I did know him. We spent some time together. He was a good young man, and it's sad that he passed. And I want to say that for those who knew him and his family, I'm sorry you have my condolences. He was a good man, and he went away far too young. So with that in mind, let me move on if I could. Guys, I'm going to be chatting about that today and taking your questions and comments. As always, this is Gov Shack. We are talking about my run for governor of New York. And the first time I met him, I believe I was running for governor in 2018. So, Ian, there we go. In any case, the issue I'm going to bring up here is Elise Stefanik. And you might say, well, Larry, I don't know who Elise Stefanik is. You may not, and you may do, and you may know. The reality of it is Elise Stefanik is the current congressperson out of North Country right now. She is a longtime supporter of Donald Trump. She was supposed to be the ambassador to the UN. For those of you who remember, she was supposed to be the ambassador, a U.S. ambassador to the UN. And that changed all of a sudden. You may not know why that changed. I'm going to tell you why that changed, for those you don't know, and why she's running for governor. Again, some of you might go, Elise Stefanik, she's our gal. She's going to solve everything because she cares about New York. Elise Stefanik did not care about New York, still does not. How do I know that? Because again, when Trump started to put his cabinet together, he tapped her out of loyalty, which again, I understand completely, out of loyalty to be the ambassador to the UN. Probably not a bad job for her, to be very forward, right? She is a Trump supporter. I'm not attacking her for that. I'm saying that's who she is. She's proudly that. She's not mad at that. She's proud of that. He's proud of that. She would openly admit that. So she would be very loyal if she were in the UN, right? She would be very loyal if she's in the UN. Makes sense. Good pick for Trump. Good move for her. She's not a very talented congressperson. She'd do fine there. It was probably a good job. Well, our governor, though, Governor Kathy Hochul, decided she wanted to deal with that issue. Here's why. When that was happening, Trump didn't have his big, beautiful bill passed yet. So he needed every single vote he could possibly get. At the same time, he was against the congestion pricing that Governor Hochul wanted. So Governor Hochul said, that's it. I'm going to go down there to D.C. and I'm going to teach Trump a lesson. I'm going to fight him and blah, blah, blah. And that is always a mistake. Every time. And our governor should know better, but doesn't, because one, that's her personality. She's a bull in a china shop. That's who she is. You see it all the time. She's the one who said, literally, if you tell me what you want me to do, I won't do it, even though I'm literally supposed to be a public servant. But anyway, that's who she is. So of course that was what she said. And she went down, and this is what other people have said. You can check it out. She went down there saying several things. Number one, she said how she controls the courts. She does. And that she would affect Donald Trump and his, at the point he hadn't been off the hook yet, right? At this point. So she's going to help him in the courts if he does the right thing. And how it works in New York state law, if Elise Stefanik leaves to go become the UN ambassador, the governor decides when the next election to replace her is. And she threatened Trump, but she said, hey, I will, you'll never get her. You won't have that person there, blah, 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 blah. And Trump went, okay, you could leave now. And she left. Right after that, three things happened. One, Trump said, I'm not giving you the $18 billion. That's what I was going to give you. So go to hell. Two, he said, Stefanik's going to stay. So that takes care of your issue over me. And three, we're going to indict Letitia James and show you who controls court systems. And Hochul took massive losses and shut up for months. That's what actually happened. That's why Stefanik is stuck in New York. How do I know she's stuck? Because she'd already given up all of her committee seats, which is how all the Congress people make money, on committee seats, because committee seats control things. That's how they get bribed effectively. She lost all those. So now what's she going to do? Well, now she's in trouble. What can you do now? For those who remember, I said she'd run for governor. Why? It's the only gift that Trump could give her. So her running for governor is literally just her getting a gift from Trump. This is a, hey, you were loyal to me. I screwed you over the UN. So take this as a gift. You make a wait a minute. How is running for governor a gift? Elise doesn't want to be a congressperson. It's obvious. She doesn't go to her district. I know that because I go to her district. When I go to her district, people tell me, Larry, we see you more than her. She's not popular in her district. Why would she? She doesn't spend time there. She doesn't want to be there. She wanted to go off to be bigger and better things. Not mad at her for it. Good. Go do your thing. That's what most statewide run libertarians, any Republican who runs statewide in New York State knows they cannot win. They're doing it for something in the future. That is their goal, right? Something in the future. That's their goal. Do the thing, something in the future. That's the goal. That's why they do it, right? That's why Stefanik's running. That's why Zeldin ran. Again, I look at what happened before. Every time I tell you these things, I try to show you an example of it actually happening. Lee Zeldin ran in 2022. He knew he couldn't win either. He told everyone he was going to win. So did Nick Langworthy. Oh, we're going to win. This is our year, knowing they can't win. Larry, how do you know that? I'm going to tell you how I know that. Because at the end of Lee Zeldin's campaign, he still had between $4 and $5 million in his account. $4 and $5 million sitting in your account. If you're trying to win, why is there any money left over? It's a serious question. If you're like, I'm going to do everything to win, I'm going to win, why is there money left over? Shouldn't you have spent it all on either ads or door knockers or, teams doing polling, something? I could spend $4 million in a month. You give it to me. I could drop $4 million effectively in a month if I had it. He had the whole year. He didn't do that. That's weird. Why? Because right after, and again, if you paid attention, I said this publicly. I said within 3 to 6 months after the election, Lee Zeldin will be running a PAC. There'll be money in the PAC from his campaign. He'll be paying himself a salary. That is legal, by the way. That is not illegal. I'm not claiming anything illegal. What Lee Zeldin did was 100% legal. In my opinion, kind of unethical, but legal, right? He did nothing illegal. So he did that, and that's what happened. And he was paying himself a salary. He did that because he also was a crappy congressman, just like Elise Stefanik. Also didn't want to have a real job, just like Elise Stefanik, and wanted to somehow get something cool. And he did. Again, good for him. This is the grift that they use. I warned people in 2022, this was his grift. If you're okay and you like Lee and you want to hook him up, well done. Give him your money. Well done. Now he spent that time, running for office, yelling about how bad Kathy Hochul is, no plan, no policy, which is the norm. Why bother having policy when you're not going to win? Why bother having a plan? You're not going to win. Who cares? Raise a bunch of money, keep a bunch of it, then go ahead and lose, open up a PAC, pay yourself a salary of 6 figures for the next couple of years until someone taps you for something. And what happened? Trump tapped him for EPA. Well done, Lee Zeldin. Perfect grift. Well done. Elise is exactly the same. There's no difference. No difference. She will run for this. She will lose. She knows she's going to lose. She'll raise tons of money, just like Lee Zeldin does. At the end of this, she'll have 4 or 5 million, whatever it is, in her account afterwards. She'll put them into some form of PAC, and she'll run that PAC and pay herself a salary. That's what they all do. That's what she will do too. That is the way of things. And if you think it's something else, you're fooling yourself. Why would you be fooling yourself? Okay. Is there going to be a primary this year? Have you heard of anyone else running for governor in the Republican Party this year? No. Of course not. No. Republican Party does not want a primary. They didn't want a primary last time either. In 2022, the Republican Party wanted no primary. How it works and they got mad at Biden for that. Remember the Republicans got mad at Biden for that? Oh, Biden, no primary. Republicans in New York State want to do the same thing. Now, the problem is how New York State law works. If a certain amount of people within the Republican Party agree up front and nominate, there is by default no primary. They did it with Lee Zeldin. They said, he's our guy, done deal, no primary. However, there is another way of making a primary. Individual Republicans can force a primary in New York State law. I think it's 10,000 signatures. I forgot what it is. It's a certain amount of signatures. I believe it's 10,000 that they have to get from registered Republicans. And then if enough of them get it, it forces a primary. That's how the party rules work. And they did. And they forced the primary. And they forced the primary not with some crazy guy. No, with real Republicans. Andrew Giuliani was in that. I know him. Andrew Giuliani's he's actually a good guy. I know him. Astorino. I know Rob Astorino. Been on my show. Another good guy. Harry Wilson. Met him many times. Another good guy. He's an actual Republicans who wanted to do something. They knew that Lee Zeldin was a grifter. They knew it. They said it during the primary season. I wasn't the only one saying this. So they said it too. All three ran. They forced the primary, and it became a primary. Now, and I say, wait a minute, Larry. Then why did Lee Zeldin win? Good question. If you are an actual Republican in New York State, whatever you would have thought of in 2022 was there for you. If you said, you know what I want? I want a real conservative because I'm a conservative Republican. I want a conservative. Rob Astorino was your guy. Anyone who knows Rob, he is a true conservative. That guy is conservative, true, and he's compassionate. I like him. He's not compassionate like a jerk. You know, there's some conservatives who are compassionate and some who are jerks. He is a compassionate, wonderful conservative he's a Westchester conservative, but a real conservative. That was your guy if you're a conservative. If you go, okay, I'm not really conservative. You know what I want? I want a firebrand. I want a firebrand who can push that message, who can put your America First message. That was Andrew Giuliani. Andrew Giuliani is still a firebrand. He's still America First. He was then, he is now. If you're a Republican and that's your guy, Andrew Giuliani was your guy, 100%. If you go, look, I don't want any of that. What I want is a crossover moderate Republican who can work with Democrats to get stuff done. If that's who you are. Harry Wilson was there. Harry Wilson's he's a conservative. He's a Republican. He's a wealthy guy. He used to work for Obama. That's your crossover guy. So whatever you thought, if you were a New York State Republican, you had one of the three, whatever you felt. Did you care more about firebrand? Did you care more about conservatism? Did you care more about, reaching across the aisle? Whatever you thought was there. Who we get? Zeldin. Why Zeldin? Zeldin was the guy who was prepared to grift and could get raised the most money, period. That's what Republicans did in 2022. They picked the guy who was prepared to grift the most. And they got him. Well done. Who do you think Stefanik is? You think she's the firebrand? No. The true conservative? No. Do you think she's the crossover person who go across the aisle and work with the Democrats? No. She's none of those three. And if you are an actual Republican voter in New York State, you probably would want one of those three, if not some combination, right? Most Republicans in New York State would want one of those three. Either they want a conservative, or they want a firebrand, or they want someone who can cross over, right? One of those three or a combination. What are you going to get? The grifter. That's what Republicans in New York State told you in 2022. They did. And I went to the Republicans in 2022 and I said, hey, can I run in your primary? Can you let me in your primary? And for those who don't know, that can happen in New York State, similar to how Bernie Sanders runs in a Democratic primary, even though he's a socialist, but he runs in a Democratic primary, right? So can we do that? Yes, of course they could. And I said, look, let me run. I'm popular. I'll probably win your primary. And they went, damn, Larry, you're right. No, you may not run, and we're going to sue you off the ballot. That was their response. The Republican Party in New York State was like, no, you cannot run, and we're going to sue you off the ballot. And it worked. I put my hand down and said, please, may I? And they went, no, we're going to punch you in the face. And it hurt, too. It's a good punch. Wasn't ready for it. True. Sucker punch. Well done. Well done, Republicans in New York State. Well done. So that's what happened. So that's where they are now. Why are they picking Stefanik? Same reason. How do I know that? The same thing's happening. Oh, if you see, she is very proud. She's posted, I am supported by X% of the New York State GOP. I'm supported and endorsed by this, that, the other. What does that mean? There will be no Republican primary. Not New York State. She is anointed the queen. The same thing Republicans got mad about Biden doing. They get mad about Queen Kathy doing. They did in 2022. The people, the Republican voters stopped them. Will the Republican voters stop them this time? If not, the establishment in the New York GOP wants to again anoint. They want to anoint Zeldin, and now they will anoint her, but they'll get mad at Democrats doing it. Boy, sounds the same, doesn't it? So does Stefanik matter? For that? No. She's not going to win. It is another grift. And I say, okay, Larry, how do I know that? I'm telling you what's going to happen already. I'm already telling you it's going to happen already. She's going to lose, have a bunch of money left over, just like Zeldin, put into a PAC, pay herself something. All right. How do I know that? What's her policy? You don't know. Nobody knows. What was Zeldin's policies? You don't know. Nobody knows. Why? There weren't any. Why would you have policies when you're not planning to win? You're not going to institute anything. You're not going to bring anybody aboard. You're not going to start anything. You're not going to win. You know you're not going to win. There's no shot. And here's worse. You don't want change. Well, Larry, you weren't going to win in 2018. Yes. But for those you remember, and I bring this up a gazillion times, and I'm going to keep bringing it up because it does show who I am, and it shows why I care. That's why I keep bringing it up. At the end of the 2018 interview I did on Rogan, Rogan said to me, he said, Larry, these are great policies. Where'd you get them from? I said, well, me and my team put it together. He goes, you better lock them down. I said, why? He said, people take them. I said, take them. Fix my state, and I don't have to run anymore. I said that publicly. That's on video. I said that literally 7 years ago, and I stand by it. You go to my website, my policies are still there. They've been there since 2017 when I first had my run for 2018. I started in 2017. They've been on my website for 8 years. You can just take them. Do they? No. Do they have it in their own? No. Because New York State is not concerned about fixing anything. That's why we haven't fixed it. We're concerned about grifting. That's it. Stefanik could just copy my policy. If she wanted to. She could. What's stopping her? She doesn't want to have policies. Why bother? That's a waste of time and money and energy. She don't want to do that. Of course not. She doesn't have any. She has no plans on fixing anything because she's not going to win and she knows it. Now, Larry, you're making it. Oh, no. Hold on. I'm going to show you. You think I'm making it up? Oh, no. Hold on. I just want to make sure you don't think I'm just talking trash. As I always tell you, I don't talk trash, obviously, but I'm going to show you. Hold on. Here we go. This right now, if you head over here, this is literally Stefanik's website. There it is. This website. Sounds good, right? Look at that. Save New York to blah, blah, blah. So you can give it. She's running for governor to make New York affordable and safe. Never heard that before. That's what she's going to do. Great. There we go. Wow. This sounds good. Where's the policy? Oh, wait, there is none. There's home. There's about her, which is she's a family. She has kids and see, and here's what she's done with whatever. Give us money. Nice. I like it. I want you to give me money too. Okay, got it. Then there's volunteer. Give us time. Got that. Nice. There we go. Buffalo Bills. Smart move. Right? All that stuff. Be nice. You have a little bit of something else, but it's fine. Good. Right? Oh, nice. Give us money. I got it. I want you to give me money too. I'm not mad at that part. Donate now. Awesome. Donate. Oh, that one may not work. Anyway. Does that work? Okay, no. Anyway, so yeah, donate now. Wonderful. That's what she is about. Great. Where's policy? I'm looking for the policy. Here's a picture of her saying stuff at CPAC because she's a conservative, right? That's it, I guess. All right. Oh, her priority. Okay, we got priorities. Good. Okay, we're good. We're good. Her priority. Cut taxes. And the plan is, I'm clicking and nothing there. Through magic. Lower energy utility costs. Great. No clicking. Magic. End dangerous failed bail reform. Okay, her answer is, nothing. Magic. Protect constitutional rights. Magic. End government corruption. How? None. Magic. So basically her priorities are magic. Wonderful. Magic is her policies. Back the blue. Got it. Expand school choice. How? Magic. Lower prices. Magic. The same shit every Republican says that means nothing. Her policies are, I'm magical. That's her policy. And then gallery of her doing stuff. Give me money. That's her website. Okay, I'm going to be very clear. She's a sitting congressperson. She has millions of dollars in her pocket. Millions. You could literally just go, hey, here's $100,000. Make me a great website tomorrow with all my policies on it. It could be done. With that kind of money, you could knock out, you could have a team put a stellar website together in less than a week. In less than a week, you could have a stellar, like you'd be blown away for the kind of money she has. Why isn't it there? She doesn't care. She doesn't care. Her team doesn't care. She doesn't care. Why? She's not going to win. She doesn't matter. This is a massive grift. Why bother? She's been in office for months. If she was going to run for governor for months, wouldn't she have a policy page up? Wouldn't she have already thought about policy? Wouldn't she have a policy team together? Of course not. Why bother? It doesn't matter. Irrelevant. Now, I'm going to look over and, wait a minute. Oh, that's Larry Sharpe's. Huh. That's weird. That's Larry Sharpe's page. And there it is. Volunteer. Please volunteer. Get info about me and updates what's happening. Oh, events. Look at that. Where's her events? Did you see the events she's doing? That's because she's not. Here we go. Where I'm going to be already. Oh, did I mess it up already? Yeah, already events. I've already got events planned already. I've got events going. Huh. And I've got previous events too. Look at that. Events I'm going to already, you can come see me, and events I've been going to. You've been seeing me posted. I'm actually campaigning. Is she campaigning? Oh, wait, no. Why bother? It doesn't matter. She's only going to go fundraiser to fundraiser to fundraiser. That's it. Nothing else. I fundraise too. I want you to give me money too. And I go to regular events to meet regular people. And I go to talk to people. Yeah, I do that. So I have events. Donate, please. I also have merch. You can buy things from me if you want to. Give donations. And guess what? Why? Because I want you to wear my stuff around. Why? Because I want you to let people know I'm running. Does Elise? No. Wait a minute. Of course she does. She doesn't. Why doesn't she have merch? Because it doesn't matter. First off, no one cares. Somebody wants to buy her stuff, number one, right? But number two, the other thing that matters is she's not trying to get new voters. I'm not joking. She just wants Republican voters and Republican donors. That's it. She's not trying to win. She's not trying to get Democrats to vote for her. She's not trying to get independents to vote for her. It doesn't matter. What matters is, will the current Republicans in New York State, 20%, give her lots of money? And they will. Why? Because she's got an R by her name, and she knows that. So why bother doing this? Doesn't exist. Policies. Oh, my God. A video with it and a bunch of policies. Safety. I explain how and why. And I'll go, make stuff safe, magic powers. I give you details. Opportunity. How I'll do it. Here we go. Affordability. How I'll do it. I talk about all the things here. And this has been here for a very long time. Right here. That's what I have. And then, of course, I have my gallery, my media and stuff, as they all do. That's important. I get it. You want to have those cool things. That's me in the media. Yay. That's great. All the stuff I do. Wonderful. Right? I love it. It's all good stuff. Love this stuff. All nice. Me doing an event. There we go. All nice. But also, I tell you what I'm doing how. Why? Because it matters. I actually want to fix things. She doesn't. She doesn't. So does she matter? No, because she's not going to win. And again, to be forward, she knows she's not going to win. This isn't something I'm making up. I'm showing the data. She knows. I'm going to go one step further. All right. I'm looking at this piece with her, and recently she has doubled and tripled down on backing Israel. And I go, wait a minute, Larry, why does that matter? I'll tell you why. As a congressperson, that makes sense, right? As a congressperson, you have to take care of a federal issue. You have to have your stances federally. Makes sense. But she's doing this as a governor candidate. Why are you taking an issue and a hard stance on an issue that is federal when you're running for governor, right? This should be a light stance. It's like, hey, it's federal, do your stuff. I'm concerned about New York State. So you should be doing. If I'm running for, city council, should I be focusing on Israel or Ukraine? I should not be focusing. If it's an afterthought because somebody cares, I don't have a problem with that. Go ahead, say that if you want to. But why would you focus on that if you're running for city council or mayor? You should be focusing on things like local crime and zoning, right? And everything federal should be just a second piece, whatever the case may be, right? Whatever. But no, she focused on it. Why? Because that's where her money comes from. She wants cash. She doesn't care about you. Care about your votes. Here's the worst part. Logically, should she take a hardcore stance on this? Have you seen the civil war in the Republican Party right now? Have you seen the civil war in the Republican Party right now? Tucker and Ben Shapiro and fighting each other. Why would you take a stance when you're trying to unite the party and move forward in New York State? Why would you do that? Did you not just see in New York City, Mamdani just won the election in New York City by over 50%, which is at least half of the population is downstate. And he won that by over 50%. Not just that, the guy who was the most pro-Israel guy was Curtis Sliwa. He got less than 10%. If you are trying to win a statewide election in New York State where Republicans are only 23% of the registered voters, why would you take a stance that hard right now? Because you don't care. You're not going to win. It doesn't matter. So if there's a battle in the Republican Party, what do you care? The wealthy one's going to give you money. That's all you care about. You're not going to win. Why do you care? It doesn't matter. What matters is, where can I get my cash? And she decided that her bread is buttered on the hardcore Israel side. So she took that side, not because she cares. To be forward, if you care about Israel, she doesn't. If you don't care about Israel, don't worry, she doesn't. She doesn't care either way. What she cares about is where her cash is coming from. So her cash comes from there. So she loves Israel. Not because she loves Israel. She actually doesn't care either way. But there we go. Now I love Israel because that's where my cash comes from. This is all about her making money. This is a massive grip. Does she matter? No, she's not going to win. That's why I keep giving you that. Now, is she traveling around the state? No. She going to Cattaraugus County, Allegheny County? Is she heading to Sullivan County? Is she up there in Wayne County? No. Why would she be? Why? She going to Long Island? No. Why? Why bother? Who cares? She knows that Republican diehards who hate Kathy Hochul will hear her message, and she would just give them the message. That's it. They'll give the money. Done. She's going to say, Kathy Hochul, bad. Mom Donnie, evil. She will play brown man, bad. She'll do that. Hardcore Republicans give her lots of money. She'll be happy. Doesn't matter. Irrelevant. She won't travel. So not traveling, no website, hardcore stance on a federal issue that doesn't matter to New York State at all, no policies at all, raising tons of money, no primary. That's the Republican nominee. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me anything I said is not true. I just showed it to you. That's who you're talking about. And the worst part is when I said, hey, why don't you guys let me run in your primary? They laugh. You can do whatever you want with your money. I'm asking you, why would you give it to the Republican? Why would you give your time to the Republican? If you gave your time and money to a Republican in 2018 or 2022, you threw your money and your time away. They're gone. They ain't coming back. They ain't saying nothing. What are they doing? They're gone. Zeldin's off in the EPA doing his thing. He don't care about you. Never did. Elise doesn't care about you either. Never did. She'll be gone. Would they do something like this? What kind of media do I do versus the media that Elise does? I do live events constantly in person like this. I take calls. I take my radio show. You see me do my radio show. I take phone calls. I meet people in person. I take it live. I do shows that are an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours long. I keep talking. Elise does 6 to 8 minute hits on places like Fox News. That's what she does. She'll do 6 to 8 minute hits, pre-recorded on friendly audiences. Who's she trying to turn? Nobody. I'm trying to convince you. I'm trying to open up. I've been begging you guys, share this everywhere, even with people who hate me. Share it everywhere. I'm trying to turn people, bring them to me. I want to grow this movement. She doesn't care. She wants to get the usual suspects to write her checks. That's all she cares about. So go back on Fox News. They'll go, oh my God, I bet Elise Stefanik can win. Here's my credit card. That's what she wants. And she's getting it. Don't get me wrong. And it's working. Zeldin worked too. This for her is going to work for her. It's not a bad move for her. I mean, she's doing the right thing for her and her family. She's not wrong. You shouldn't fall for it. You shouldn't fall for it. But she's doing the right thing for her and her family. She's going to be great. She's going to make tons of money, put a bunch of money in her pocket. Her family's set forever. Well done. I mean, like Elise, good grift. Zeldin too. Well done. Great grift. I mean, that's effective. I can't be mad at the game. It's well done. All I'm saying is you don't have to fall for it. If you gave me money and time in 2018, I'm still here. You gave me money and time in 2022, I'm still here. You give me money now in 2026, I'll still be here. I'm still here now. You can still talk to me. You can still see me. You can still meet me, ask me questions, and I'll still give you answers. Still happening now. I'm actually trying to fix New York. They're not. They're not. With that in mind, I'm going to ask you, guys, donate. And if you've already donated, send this to somebody else. Have them donate. Someone in your family, someone in your house. I combined it in your house. Someone in your family, someone in your house. Do me a favor. Have them donate. Why? Particularly if they're in New York. Remember, I'm going for matching funds to fight this damn thing. We get matching funds. I'm the governor. Remember how this works. If I get 5,000 New Yorkers to give me a total of $500,000, New York State gives me $3 million. With $3 million, I will raise $10 million. That's a winnable race. That means I'm governor. That's how that works. That's how that works. But Larry, they throw tons of money at you. Does not matter. What they don't understand is their biggest nightmare is me becoming legitimate. This is why when the Republicans did their their last poll, they had Elise Stefanik, Kathy Hochul, and they didn't want to put out Larry Sharpe. They did. In the polling, it was Larry Sharpe. In the polling, it was Larry Sharpe. So people put Larry Sharpe. That's what actually happened. And I polled in at 8%. They didn't want to put that name down because if I came in at 8%, that changes the entire game. And they know it. What they're looking for, what they don't want me to do is become legitimate. If they attack me and call me names, which is what they do forward, this is what the Republicans will. Democrats won't do this because Democrats have no fear of me. Democrats know this is a lock for them. Both sides, they think it's a lock. If I don't get matching funds, they're kind of right. If I don't get matching funds, they're right. It's a lock. They're going to win, right? And that's how it works because the numbers don't exist. There's only, again, 23% Republicans in this state. There's more independents in the state. I'm the independent. So in theory, I have more of a following than Elise Stefanik does, right? By voter registration. So yeah, so it's a lock. They don't care. Democrats ignore me. They don't care, whatever. Republicans are scared of me. So what will they do? Because they know that if I become legitimate, they're coming in third. I'm beating Stefanik for sure. If things go very well, I'm also beating Hochul. But I'm beating Stefanik for sure. Stefanik has no chance against me if I become legitimate. How do I do that? Raising money, people knowing who I am, and them yelling at me. So I'm not afraid. Guys, put me in any other place you want. Please share me out. Repost this. Share this any place. Put it to anything. Even the most hostile places you can possibly imagine. People who would hate me. Good. Let them hate me. There's a lot of people out there who think, I'm going to teach Larry Sharpe a lesson by airing some dirt on him or calling him names or something. Please do that. Like, please. Please. If you call me bad names and they have to call me on some media channel so I can defend myself against some horrible thing you called me, good. I could use it. Please. So whatever name you got, go. But here's what I'd rather you do. Just share my stuff. That's it. Let people figure it out on their own. Please do that. Click that like button. I know I bug you all the time. I've got to grow. I've got to grow. As you know, I've had to split this up with my Larry Sharpe stuff and my Sharpe Boy stuff. I've got to split it up, legal reasons. So I've lost a bunch of viewers from each of them. Because I lose viewers from each, I need you to double up your efforts. I'm giving you this time. Please give me some of that back. If you can donate, please do so. If you want to super chat me, you can. You can super chat me if you want to. Click LarrySharpe.com/super chat. That's how super chats work here. We can't do it via YouTube. That's how that works. So we have to do it via the website. So please jump on board. If someone in your family can donate, that's awesome. A friend can donate. It's awesome. Remember how matching funds work. If you live in New York State will match between $5 and $250. So please give somewhere between $5 and $250. Whatever number works for you. I would like it if you would to do it monthly. I know I ask all the time because it matters. Think of it this way if you would. Larry, I like you, but I can't give you that much. You know what I could do? Yeah, I like you a lot. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a cup of coffee a day. A cup of coffee a day. If you can do that, if you're in that spot, you can do that. Give up some coffee. That's $100 a month. It's a lot of money. If you can do it, if you're in that kind of spot, if you're in that financial situation, please do it. $100 a month is amazing, helps tremendously, lets us know what's going on. So Larry, I love you, but not that much. I can't do $100 a month. Too much for me. I can't give you a cup of coffee a day. Okay, you can't give me a cup of coffee a day. I can give you a cup of coffee a month. Okay, I'll take it. It's about $5 a month. Great. $5 a month is perfect. That's good. Larry, I could do better than that. I could do one a week. Great. Give me a cup of coffee a week. That's about $25 a month. Whatever you can do. Can you do $100 a month? Cup of coffee every day? Can you do $5 a month? Cup of coffee a month? Can you do $25 a month? Cup of coffee every week? What can you do? Whichever you can do, please do that. It's very helpful. It does matter. Please do it. And encourage your family and friends to do so also. Do it because they owe you, because they bug you, because I'm good looking. I don't care. It doesn't matter. And I am good looking. But whatever it is, do that if you can. I appreciate it. If you want something for your donation, you can. LarrySharpe.com/shop. Head over there, pick up a hoodie, pick up a shirt, pick up a bumper sticker, pick up a mug, a coffee mug. So every time you pick up the mug, you're good to go. You get a mug, whatever it might be. Do whatever you need to do. It does matter. Whatever you can, it does matter. If you can't do any of that stuff, then please volunteer. Tonight is a volunteer call, 9 p.m., letting you know what to do, how to do it. We do give you instruction. We do give you guidance on what to do. So join our volunteer team if you could. Tonight, 9 p.m. How to do that? By signing up at LarrySharpe.com/volunteer. You get the link, pop on the Zoom call, and we'll get stuff done. It does matter. I know I bug you about it, but it's because it matters. All right, let me grab some comments if I could. Have a lot of comments. Let me grab some of these if I can. All righty. Wow, you guys did pop a lot. All right, let me do this if I can. Oh, wow, lots of comments. All righty, first thing. Josh says, I want to empower you guys to do 3 things. Donate to Larry Sharpe campaign. Make your own camp flyers and cards with QR codes to hand out to people to spread the word about his grassroots campaign. Guys, I want to be very clear on this. He makes a valid point. If you guys think something's funny or interesting, or you want to be creative and you want to make something that goes online, please do it. Any bit. But Larry, I'm not sure. Does it match with the campaign? I don't care. Let me say it again. Don't care. I want to make Larry Sharpe as a flying unicorn. Do it. Yes. Amazing. Yes. I don't care if you think that works. Don't do it just because. Well, I mean, now you can do it because I said so, Rob. But no, do it because you think it's cool or makes sense or interesting or funny or weird, whatever. Go ahead. Just do it. Whatever we can get, great. Yes, I need legitimacy. Whatever you feel appropriate, go ahead and do so. Josh is correct. He goes on to say, to Larry and his team, please do voting bank on the website so we get to pledge their votes. It's not a bad idea. Teams watching. Hope we can jump on that. I like that. Josh goes on to say, Larry, please excuse my language on this one, but this needs to be heard. Elise Stefanik is you can read that if you want to. I'm not saying that on YouTube because that's going to end it. Who says she'll put New York first, but really it's Trump and that special country first. Sadly, you are correct. And that was my whole point. Why are you even saying that? Why are you even saying that? Again, I'm not against you supporting Israel. If you support Israel, awesome. Go ahead. Please support whoever you want to support. Whatever you want to support, go ahead. That's wonderful. But why are you pushing that when you're running for a local office? And then why are you double and tripling down when you're running for a local office? It should be an afterthought when you're running for a local office. If you're running for a federal office, that should be front and center. I agree. If you're running for a federal office, that should be front and center. You're not. You're running for a local office. That should be a secondary piece, not primary. And it's not primary for me because it shouldn't be. I'm not running for Congress, Senate, President, Vice President. Running for those, front and center. I'm not. Doesn't make any sense. So Mike Voss is in the house. Most believe that Stefanik can't win. Yeah, you're right. But New York GOP has to do something to look competitive. But is party virtue signaling it? I think not. New York needs solutions. Look, here's what I think. I think you're right, Mike. If the GOP wasn't concerned about grifting, they'd be pushing 1 or 2 specific issues to pressure Hochul to do something. They're not. I'll give an example. Let's say they want to end bail reform if it's criminal justice. Maybe it's Second Amendment, something. Maybe it's lowering taxes, something. They should be doing something like focus on that one issue, push Stefanik on an issue, hammer her hard on that so that the people around her, because Hochul will not bend, because Hochul's hard-headed as hell. But the people around her will force her to bend because it'll affect her donors and her gift giving. So that would work. You force those people to say, you know what? Give the GOP this. You know what? Give them that. Now, how do I know that? Because you've seen she won't raise taxes. She won't. People around her know that's where her money comes from. Don't raise them taxes. She won't do it. So it can work, but it's hard. You have to then accept defeat and push an issue that will actually help New York State. The New York GOP, and to be forward, I'm beating up the New York GOP because it's New York State. But the same thing happens with Democrats in like Nebraska and Utah. I say it all the time, right? When you're in a position where you can't win anymore, you just try to grift. So this isn't that New York the Republican Party is so bad as a specific thing. No, they're in the same spot that Democrats are in other red states and that the California GOP is. It is our system that makes them this way. If that makes any sense. That's why average GOP voters don't understand it. They think, well, they wouldn't be that way. I wouldn't be. If you're in that system, yeah, you kind of would. So you got to change it. So, yes. Missy, very savvy. Would you like a free hoodie, t-shirt, card magnet, or coffee mug with your donation? Yes. Go to this link. It's free. It's a gift, but you got to pay for it. All of a sudden, I'm going to sneeze. Yes, the hoodie, t-shirt, card magnet are actually free. They're free. You get it with a donation. She is correct. That's absolutely correct. Yes, 100%. So there we go. Josh goes on to say, Elise Stefanik's one of the top donors will be the Adelson family. Yeah, it's true. 100%. It's accurate. That's where our bread is buttered. I understand completely. So, yes. All righty. Let me grab a couple more of these. Mike Vasco's governor is a stepping stone most in Congress use to gain executive experience because most of them worked a real job before running for president. Also true. Very common. This once you run for governor, now the concept is now you can vote. You can run for president or something like, I'll be a vice presidential candidate, something like that. I agree. Yes. Adirondack, no, you get it completely. You're totally correct. All Zeldin votes were from the red, no matter who, same type votes Stefanik will get. Yes. Yes. That piece is very important, right? Very important. She knows it's vote red, no matter who. That's what it is. It's those people who are going to give her money and vote for her, and she'll be fine. That's all she's looking for. She's not going to win. Yes. Adirondack goes on to say, Aspirin lost because gun owners did not go to vote. That is a big piece. You're right. Gun owners in New York State, in many cases, have just given up. You are correct. I wish they would vote. They really have given up in many ways. You're right. I hope they come back. Yes. They knew the SAFE Act was coming and still let Cuomo get elected. Gun owners in New York could have turned the election to Rob. Yeah, it's true. Rob ran in 2014. I remember I was there. I was there at his at the debate. Him and Cuomo and Michael McDermott and Howie Hawkins had 2014 in Buffalo. I remember. Yep, absolutely. So, all righty. Where am I? Oh, Mike's with you. He says he's saying at Iraq that gun owners are 1/4 of all registered voters. Oh, I didn't know that. Mike, good data. Yeah. If they ever vote in a block, they could win any and every statewide election. Yeah. That's the problem. Most people don't know this, but what has been said across New York State is often accepted as true, and that is we can't win because New York City outvotes us every time. And I hear that all the time. And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy because, Michael, you're correct. The reality of it is you rarely get more than 2-3 million votes out of New York City. That's about it in any given election. Rarely get more than 2-3 million votes. It's about all you get. There's 10 million registered voters. So outside the city could easily outvote New York City if they actually went out and voted, but they don't. Some parts of upstate New York, only 1 in 6 vote. That's how bad it is. You're right. They have given up because they hear that doesn't matter. The city votes us out every way. And because of that, they surrender. They don't vote. And then eventually they just pack up and leave and don't care. And they vote in the next city or town they go to, next state they go to. Yeah. I wish you were wrong, Mike. I wish you were wrong. So yes. Phil says, Larry, I saw her on Mark Levin and she smiled without blinking for 2 minutes during his intro. I thought it was a picture. How's that possible? Yeah. She's hella nervous. She's not good at this. She's not a good campaigner. That's why she doesn't campaign. She's not good at campaigning. She's like meeting people. Why does she want to meet the peasants? She doesn't want to do that. She doesn't want to meet the unwashed masses. Don't do that. So yeah, she doesn't want to do that. Of course not. So she goes on places like Mark Levin, who will be completely safe and just so please, Elise, you're so awesome and Democrats are so evil. Please expound. You're right, Mark. They're awesome. They're terrible and I'm awesome. You're right. And then 6 minutes later, she's done. Yes, that's it. I completely agree. Mike Vosper, the most important piece. 8 months of prep time, millions in the bank, massive connections. Yet her first website was mismanaged wreck. Webpage 2.0, no policies. Priorities are not policies, more like suggestions. True and true. Yes, true and true. Look, if you're a Republican watching this, either watching what I'm doing now or watching her, you should be upset. If you go to Republicans in other states, like, for example, Pennsylvania Republicans, I'm not trying to promote anybody. I'm trying to give credit where credit is due. They know they have a chance at winning. They know they have a shot at making impact. They live in Pennsylvania. It's much more of a swing state compared to New York. They're going to actually try. The Republicans in that state are going to actually try. They're going to give you ideas. They're going to give you policy. They're going to try to fix it. Across the country, Republicans went across the country. You see Republicans go across the country, actually come up with ideas and policies and things like that. You see that. Why? Because they know they can make impact and win, so they act accordingly. It's just human nature, right? Here in New York State, why bother? Michael's correct. If you're a Republican, you should be angry. You should be pissed off. Why are they doing this? What's your excuse? Why would it be a mismanagement? In 8 months and that kind of money? You give me that, Mike, you know me well enough. You give me the millions of dollars, I would have the coolest, awesomest website put up within 30 days. You'd be blown away by it. Within 30 days. Guaranteed. She has all that stuff. Nothing. Why? She doesn't want to waste her time, money on her website. Why? The website's gone in 11 months, Mike. You and I both know that. It's gone in 11 months. None of it's going to matter. It's temporary garbage. It's going to be gone in 11 months. No one's ever going to look at it again. She's going to take the money and run. My website's still a living, breathing document because it matters. I want you to give a damn. You still have my shows on it. You still have my lives on it. You still have my policies on it. It is literally, my website is a policy library for libertarians. It's not going away. Don't you get that? Not you, Mike. People watching, don't you get that? It's a policy library for libertarians. That's what it is. You can't find it anyplace else. It's only there. It's not going away. That's why I keep it going. So you'll get mad. Larry, some of your stuff's old. Yes, because I've been running since 2017. So of course some of it's old. I don't have millions of dollars in the bank. I've only raised $500,000 each time I ran. Overall, I've raised $1 million. If you count from 2017 to today, I've raised over $1 million. Yes, if you count the whole time. So over the course of 7 years, I've raised over $1 million. That's true. She raises several $1 million in a week. In a week, she raises several $1 million. I raised $1 million in 7 years. Big difference. And my website's better than hers. That's an embarrassment. You are correct. But here's the reason why. Hers is going away in 11 months. Or 12 months. 12 months from now, that website's done, gone, garbage. Who cares? Mine will still be here. Mine will still be that. Absolutely. So, all righty. Plug Nanny says, if she doesn't make any campaign promises, they've been the promises to break. That's how it works. She's not wrong. Yeah. Phil says, Elise MIA Stefanik. Ooh, I like that. Yes, I like that. It's Sharpe country. I do like that. All right. And Phil now is teasing me, says, here I am, baby. Take me by the hand. Larry Sharpe, kind of Al Green. Yeah. Al Green, good. I mean, I'll take that. You're going to make me Al Green? I'm in. So, yeah. Brian says, do you ever think about doing a phone call for fundraising? Pay like X amount of money and get a phone call from Larry Sharpe for 10 minutes. It's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Maybe we'll try it. Team, you guys hear that? If you think that'll work, I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to hear it. Yeah, if we think that makes sense, I'm okay. So, all righty. Cage says, in my news feed, Unleash Prosperity released a report on Tuesday that found New York lost $517.5 billion in resident incomes from 2013 to 2022. Source from Census and IRS. Yes, you're right. I've been saying it forever, right? So that's about 10 years. That's $50 billion per year. I tell you, I said last time I checked, we were losing about $20 billion per year. I would bet a huge chunk of that. I don't think the average is actually 50 billion. The average is more like 20 or 30, but it was a massive increase during the lockdowns. That's my gut. I don't know that. My gut tells me it's actually around 20 to 30 average per year with a big bump up. 2020, 2021, huge bump up will be my guess from the lockdowns. Again, don't know that. That's what I think. But yeah, that tracks. I've been saying that forever, right? We keep losing money. This is why New York State gets a $20 billion or more bailout from the federal government every year. We didn't talk about that. Yeah, New York gets a bailout every year because New York State is broken. That's the problem. So, all righty. Let's see here. Phil says, I'll donate $5 to Larry if she could name all the counties in her district. She couldn't. Okay. I don't know where her district is. I could name them if I could know the district, but yeah, I probably could. So, Adirondack says, voting for Larry is like getting 3 votes. 1, you're actually vote for Larry Sharpe. 2, Republicans say your vote counted for Kathy. True. Democrats say your vote counted for Elise. True. Larry votes for magical. Yes. Larry votes are just like keto. Magic. It's the same. You're right. Right? Because they're going to tell you, you voted for Larry Sharpe, you might as well vote for Kathy Hochul. Yeah. Well, we got both. You voted for Larry Sharpe, might as well have voted for Stefanik. Yes, you're right. I got 3 votes. You extra powerful. And you don't even have to be a dead person in New York City. You just get 3 extra votes. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. I like that. Yeah, there we go. All good. All righty. Kevin says, in the New York City mayor's race, the Republican was a spoiler. Larry has a chance as long as he can get coverage. True. That's the piece. Me getting ahead is the key. He's exactly correct. Yes. That's the piece. Yes. So I hope that makes sense. John goes on to say, this is why I hate active congressional reps running as an executive in their home state, choosing between campaigning and carry your duties. Yeah. Yes. I agree completely. People have said this before. Larry, if you win the governorship, you can now run for president. No. I'm saying that up front. No. Well, that would be cool for libertarians or something or whatever. That would be cool. No. If I win the governorship next year, I will be the governor for at least 8 years. Well, assuming I survive and I get we'll see. I will try to be governor for at least 8 years. That's what I'll say. 8 years. That's my goal. And if I do that, I can make change, which I want to make change, see the value. Then I would happily step down after 8 years. And then in the next 2 years, run for president or something like that, or run vice president or run for something else, run for Senate, whatever. I could do that. That would make sense at least because, to your point, I would no longer be governor. I would have done my time, fixed things, shown people the way, and I can move on to something else in my life. I would absolutely do that. I would not, and I'm saying publicly now, hold me to this, John. If I'm full of shit, you got to hold me to this. If I win the governorship, I will not run for president if I'm the governor of New York. I will not do that. I will focus on being governor of New York. I will happily and eagerly support the independent candidate, whether that's We the People, Libertarian, whatever is the independent candidate who gets on the ballot in New York State for president. I will even campaign for that person to make sure they get, as much as possible. I will support that person, but that person will not be me. So I'm saying it publicly, it will not be me. So yes. All righty. Let's see if I can grab that. I appreciate that, by the way. Roger says, embrace making us a citizen ballot initiative state for amendments, and you got my support, Larry. Haven't I already done that? Oh, no, for amendments. You're right. I've kind of dodged on the amendment one a bit. Points valid. I love citizen ballot initiatives. I have been a little bit leery of the amendment piece. I have been. There's still a fear that I have for that piece. And I got to work through it. Maybe you and I, you know what, Roger, maybe you and I should have a sit down. Roger, by the way, was with me, a month ago, Roger? We did a couple of events together in, was it Westchester and Staten Island? Is that right? So, yeah. So maybe Roger and I have to sit down again and we'll have a conversation. Because you're right. I have been a little bit leery of the amendment piece. All right. Well, we'll see. Lunatic is in the house. Appreciate that. Let's see here. 99 says, New York GOP won't give up the grift because it's still profitable. Yes. Unlike Democrats in Utah, New York GOP will always vote the candidate. Not always. I think the New York GOP is about 3 cycles away from not running anymore. Look at how hard it was to get Sleeper to run. See how hard that was. And he got less than 10%. I'm telling you, they're about 3 cycles away. If Elise is lucky, she gets 35% of the vote. If she's lucky. And everything goes her way. If it doesn't go her way, she'll get less than 20. Yes, if things go poorly, she'll get less than 20% of the vote. At that point, who the hell wants to run? Who's going to give money? It's profitable now because enough people believe that she can do something somehow. Or Trump has told them that she'll do something. Look, the reality is Trump is supporting her. It's clear. He is. He would say so. So, yeah. She's getting all the help. So, yes. Lunatic says, the world is filled with programmed people that think private industry must be subsidized by government because all private sector fails. We are cooked. I'm trying to change that. I am. I'm trying to. Absolutely. John says, if GOP wants to win, they need a science experiment of a candidate. I look at the 22 GOP primary as an example. Or they can widen up and not run a candidate against you or Hochul. Yeah, I agree. The time, look, to be forward, I know a lot of people watching don't like Trump, and I get it. He can be a mean guy. I'm with you. Absolutely. With that in mind, as always, I try to give credit where credit is due. I don't know if it was Trump or his team or whomever, but his idea, which he gets credit for no matter what, it's his idea, he gets credit for it, of making that unity ticket last year was brilliant. Was it him? Was it his team? I don't know, but brilliant. Bringing on Tulsi Gabbard, bringing on RFK Jr., bringing on Elon Musk. It was brilliant. That's how he won. That's how he beat Kamala Harris in the popular vote. by making that unity ticket. It was a brilliant idea, and it worked. Congrats. I'm saying a similar thing. Try something new, GOP. Trump has taught you the way. It works. Supposedly you support Trump. Well, then do what he says. This is what he said. So yes, absolutely. Liberty Lady says there's a coffee mug and new shirt on the merch tab now, I think. There is. If you head over there, you will see it. Let me show you real fast, guys. Hold on. See if I can find it. I think she is correct. Let me pop on over and show that. Thank you, D. I appreciate the support. And there it is. You can, if you want to get this t-shirt, the hoodie, the bumper sticker, the regular like onions, onion weed, yep, and the coffee mug, whichever one you prefer. You might go, Larry, some of that stuff, it's you could put a lot of money. Yes. Remember, you're getting this because you're supporting the actual campaign. You're supporting the campaign is what you're doing, and then getting a gift. To be very clear, I want you to be clear. If you just want to buy a cheap shirt, this is not the place to buy cheap shirts. There are many places where you may buy cheap shirts, and please buy cheap shirts if you like. I do as you see fit with your money, of course. But if you want to support the campaign, this is how you support the campaign and get a cool, not cheap shirt, and get a cool, not cheap hoodie, and also a cool mug. Yes, you get all those things. If you want them, please enjoy them. And by the way, the design of this one right here, my daughter, yes, it's true. Someone had to get that woman working. I'm teasing. She's listening, probably mad at me. I'm teasing. Anyway, yes, it's all good. So yes, I agree with that. So, all righty, let me keep going down here again. All righty. John does not like Mark Levine. He says Mark Levine's an absolute jerk. He can be, that's for sure. Yes, absolutely. So John goes on to say, to piss off Levine and Elise, get Larry and Tucker Carlson. Guys, if you guys know Tucker Carlson in any way, shape, or form, and you want to bug him to get me on, that would be insanely helpful. I cannot tell you how helpful that would be. Please do that if you can. Bug him, jump on him all day long, do the thing you need to do. Please, yes, yes, and yes. If you can do so, please do so. I would really appreciate that, guys, if at all possible. If you know anybody, if you watch his show, if you want to go on there, please do so. It would be great. I do appreciate it tremendously. So, all righty. Let me keep going down here. Phil says, at Larry, why does it seem like most politicians don't give specific policies? Is it because they think that those policies will be beaten up? Do they not commit to anything in case they don't do it? No, there's a couple of reasons. This began to change, believe it or not, in the year 2000. Yes, I'm going back a couple of years. And it was, believe it or not, with Al Gore. Al Gore had detail. Al Gore, whether you like Al Gore or not, Al Gore is a total policy wonk geek. He is. That's who the guy is. I don't know if any of you have met him and know him. I know people who know. I've never met him myself, but I know people who know him. They also mean the same thing. He is an absolute geek, a total policy wonk. You may disagree with his policies. I know many of you do. I do also. It doesn't mean he's stupid. It just means he's wrong. And he is a policy geek. Like he knows that this. He pays attention. Clinton was the same way. Clinton was also a policy wonk geek. They knew the details, everything. And he does. Al Gore knows the details of all kind of stuff. He does. He's very smart. Again, you might like his policies, but it doesn't make him dumb. It makes him wrong. There's a difference. Very smart. So he put detailed policies. Detailed. And the Republicans ate him alive. If you remember, he was going, with my plan, we'll do blah, blah, blah. On my website is my plan. We'll do blah, 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 blah. And they would tear his plans apart. And they hated it. And they stopped. And that's been true for years. Next, now they don't do policies anymore. They just do communications. As you have more of a left-right paradigm, why bother having policies? There's no need. People now don't vote because they're going to get something. They vote out of fear. So Hochul says, orange man bad, vote for me. Policies, shut up, orange man bad. Stefanik goes, brown man bad. What about policies? Shut up, brown man bad. Why put policies together? So someone can tear them up? Now, Larry, why do you do it? Two reasons. One, I hope you tear them up. Please, you don't know how bad I hope Republicans get upset at me or Democrats get upset at me and go, let's go do his policies and tear them up. Please do that. Please, that'd be amazing. Please. And show me how bad my policy. I would love that. Please do that. So I have no fear of that. Why? Because I know my policies are good. I know they are. How do I know that? If they were bad, they would have torn them up already. Well, so many people don't get. I love the newer people who come or people think they're cool. I'm going to teach Larry Sharpe a lesson. I've been vetted for 8 years. 8 years I've been vetted. My shit's been online for 8 years. I have 8 years of content you can rip apart all day long. Where is it? Come on. I can't wait. Do it. I'm in. They don't want to get beaten up because then they're the bad guy and then they vote against them. I'm like, please beat me up. I need legitimacy. Plus, I know myself is good, so I don't care. But for them, that's the reason why. Why bother? There is more. If you put detailed policies on your website and you're a Democrat, Republican playing the left-right game, there is more harm than good. So why would you? There's far more risk than reward. So you don't do it. For me, it's the opposite. For me, there's far more reward than risk. So that's why I do it, of course. So yes. Lenari says, Larry, unfortunately, average voters will not go look at the website. You're exactly correct. Lenari, you're totally correct. That's the reason. It doesn't matter. If you are, she's looking, Adirondack said it right. She's looking for the red no matter who people. And those people are going to give her money and vote for her no matter what. They don't care what a website says. There's no Kathy Hochul bad. I'm going to vote for this. That's it. Yes, absolutely. 100%. All righty. Pug Nanny says, put Larry in an ice cold dunking booth. Donate so much for throw. Whoever makes a hit gets a prize. You trying to punish me? Yeah, I'd probably do it. Just saying, but yeah, I would do it. So, okay. There we go. Lunatic says, Larry, hope you get an invite to the Wisconsin Libertarian Convention next year. I actually went there, I think 2 years ago. 2 years. So I still have a Wisconsin Libertarian Party shirt that I got there. It's too big though. It's like a big, like they gave me like an extra large or something. It's just too big for me. But yes, I hope to go. Do me a favor, Lunatic. Bug those people. Tell them to invite me. I'll see if I can make it. If I can make it, I'll come. Yes. Pug Danny says, keep Larry locked in the governor's mansion, give him an 8-year sentence. I'm okay with that. I don't know if I'd want to go more than 8 years before. I talk about term limits a lot. I think maybe I'd want to do that. Just do 8 years and leave. You know, if I'm talking to trash, maybe I should do it. 8 years, get out. And hopefully I'm successful. And then if I were to become governor and do it, then I would consider going on to become a senator, president, or whatever, running for that kind of office. I'd consider it if I'd actually won, right? People all the time tell me, Larry, you should run for president. Why? I'm not joking when I say that. Why? Well, you'll be good. No. I'll make no impact. I'll raise no money. I only bug you guys for time, money, and energy when I believe I can make impact. I've only run for one office, governor of New York. It's the one I know. It's the one I'm good at. It's the one I can fix. I have the policies. I can make impact. I can get ballot access, get people done, move stuff forward. I can do it. That's why I do it. I don't just run for stuff. You've never said, run for Congress. Why? Run for city council. Why? So would I run for president? If I thought I could make impact. Oh, otherwise, why? It doesn't make any sense. I support people who want to do it. I do it all the time. You see me do it, right? But why would I do it? Now, if I became governor of New York and was successful, clearly I could make impact running for president, right? Clearly, or Senate or whatever, right? I could go for a federal office at that point because I would have been successful as governor of New York. Then I would consider doing it because, of course, I can make impact then. But otherwise, I have to believe I'm going to make impact. Kim, I'm bugging you now for your time, for your money, for your energy. I'm giving up my time, money, and energy. I'm giving it up, of course. I would only do it if I think I can make impact. Otherwise, I'm not prepared to do it. That's why I'm sitting here doing this, because I believe I can make impact. And I want your help doing it. So I ask again, guys, if you can donate, please donate. If you haven't already, please do so. If you want to super chat me, you can, of course, super chat me at LarrySharpe.com/super chat. Super chat is politics. Can't do it on YouTube. So we're not doing it on YouTube. Instead, you go through the website. I'll get it anyway through the website if you want to. So you can if you want to. If you want something for it, go ahead. LarrySharpe.com/shop. Shirts, hoodies, bumper stickers, and of course, volunteer. There's a volunteer call tonight if you want to volunteer. So please go ahead. LarrySharpe.com/volunteer. Join SEAL Team Sharpe. We need you. Do that. But the easiest thing, click that like button. Share this someplace else. Make sure you're subscribing and following all the channels you're watching this on. Every little bit does count. So please keep going, guys. Thank you. All right, I'm keep going here if I can. All righty. 99 says, if you go on Tucker, you immediately wade into a cancel mob. Realistically, the only way I see you getting on is if both Stefanik and Hochul take a public stance in support of Israel. You wade into a cancel. Good. You guys are missing the point. Good. I keep saying, I want to be very clear. If any of you out there listening or watching have a connection to someone who is large on a podcast world, I don't care what they do. I don't care what their stances are. I'm happy to go on. If they decide to cancel me, then they have to yell to cancel me. Good. I'm not mad at this. This is the piece that a lot of people don't get. I'm not afraid of scrutiny. The reverse. I want scrutiny. I want someone to come in and go, Larry's a bad guy because Larry didn't do this. What about this, Larry Sharpe? Come on my show and defend yourself. I can't wait. Because every time that happens, I gain followers. Every time. I'm not afraid of the fight. Do you understand that? I am a Marine. I'm not afraid to go to war. I'm not afraid of this. I pick this. I remember someone telling me, it's not fair when this guy ran for office, how they beat him up and did this. Of course it's fair. You run for a major office and you get hammered on stuff. What were you thinking? What were you thinking? I tell you about my trials and tribulations, not for you to feel sorry for me. I volunteered for this shit. I know what I'm going to mess up into. I know I'm going to get hammered. I know that some people, and I have some PTSD from this, say things like, Larry, in 2022, you purposely did so-and-so. Shut up. I got my ass kicked publicly in 2022, and that will stay with me for the rest of my life. For the rest of my life. All the pain and failure that I had will stay with me for the rest of my life. It's online. Every mistake I made, everything I screwed up, online the rest of my life. Again, not for you to feel sorry for me, but to stop thinking I'm doing something on purpose to harm people. That's insanely fucking stupid. Stop that. You don't like what I'm saying? Fine. Come at me, whatever. You can do that. It's fine. I know what I signed up for. I'm okay with that. But for you to think that I'm doing it somehow trying to hurt, stop. Like I'm making bazillions of dollars. Stop. I was $40,000 in debt after 2022 with nothing to show for it. So yeah, I don't mind. I say this so you understand where my head is. And when I ask you to bleed with me, it's not that I'm just asking you to bleed for nothing. I'm bleeding too. So bleed with me. Don't feel sorry for me. Join me. Don't go, oh, poor Larry. Jump on board. That's what I want you to do. I know what I signed up for, and I know it sucks. I get it. I know I'm bleeding. I know. Bleed with me. That's what I'm asking you. So yes. All righty. Let's see here. Ken says, the biggest problem with Larry is he calls me Kevin and doesn't return my text. Oh, is that right? All right. I'm messing up, Ken. I'm messing up. All right. I had you on my show, didn't I? All right. I gotta bring it. All right. Call me out. I got it. All right. Fine. Getting called out. It's fine. All right. Shelly says, I'm late. Just got off a Zoom meeting. Well, I'm glad you're here anyway. Late's better than nothing. Absolutely. John says, cancel mob. Don't threaten Larry with a good time. True. See, John gets it. Lunatic says, all attention is welcome by Larry. Yes, it is. 100%. See, you get it. Of course, Lunatic gets it. Of course, Lunatic gets it. Yes, absolutely. Very true. Of course, he gets it. Guys, I'm asking you again, if you don't mind. Let me do a quick rehash if I could. I've asked you to come here and talk to me because of Elise Stefanik. Elise Stefanik is looking like the Republican nominee. Here's the issue. Does she matter? No. Why? The Republican Party in New York State is going to try to have no primary. That's why they have the rules where if enough people support her, there's no need for a primary. The question is, will somebody spend the time, money, and energy to force a primary? You can do that. 10,000, I think it's 10,000 signatures. If you're a registered Republican, you can go ahead and do that, and you can force a primary. But why would somebody? Why would you want to make this run? Why does Elise Stefanik want to make this run? She doesn't. Elise does not want to make this run. How do I know? She's not campaigning. She's not even trying. She doesn't want to. She has no policies. As you know, she wouldn't. Why bother? She's not going to win. It's a waste of time. Her website's a joke. Of course it's a joke. Why? It's going away in a year. You never see it again. She's going to grift. She's jumping on board with a national issue of Israel when she's running for governor. Why? In the middle of a civil war in the Republican Party. Why? Because she doesn't care. That's where her bread is buttered. She's trying to raise money. This is about money. It's about a grift. Is she traveling? No, she's not going to win. Again, it goes back to it. She knows she's not going to win. The Republican Party knows she's not going to win. Mike Voss said most people know she's not going to win. She cannot win. Let me repeat this. Republicans are 23% of the registered voters in New York State. How are you going to win with 23% of the vote when you make no attempt to get independents, no attempt to even solidify Republicans, and zero attempt to get any Democrats? In a state where the largest city just got a socialist mayor elected by more than 50%, and the Republican in that city got less than 10%. You think that's going to work? Of course not. The establishment all knows this. And if you're a Republican in New York State, you should be angry. You should be insulted because they are insulting you. They're taking your money. They're telling you you're going to win, knowing they can't, and making no impact. And to Mike Voss's earlier point, why aren't they at least, at a minimum, pushing one or two issues to force your governor to do something? At least that. Something. To get a win. Hey, we couldn't win the election, but we got this thing. No. Why would they? They don't care. They're grifting while the grifting's good. Within 3 cycles or so, the Republicans will stop running candidates. Why bother? There's no way of victory. No one will run. They can't find anybody. If it wasn't for Stefanik, who the hell was going to run? Blakeman out of Nassau? I mean, maybe, because there's nothing else to do, but probably not. This is a problem. Anyway, so does she matter? No. Will there be a primary? Probably not. If you know anybody in the Republican Party, let them know that they should let me run their primary. That makes more sense. Now we have a fun primary. But I'm running either way. I'm rocking and rolling. We can make this happen. Remember, if I get matching funds, I am the next governor. That's how it works. If I get matching funds, I am inevitable. Where's that from? So yes, if you would please do that if you can. Guys, support the show. As I always tell you, support the show. I think I'm on Sharpe right now. To support this campaign, click the button known as like. It does matter. Repost this someplace if you can. Again, if you have not already donated, awesome. If you can get someone else in your family to donate, as it goes, particularly if you're in New York State, get someone else to donate. That gives me extra donors. I need a number of donors, 5,000 of them. That is going to be challenging for me. Raising $500,000 will not be that challenging, to be fair with you. I've done it twice already. So I've already raised the amount of money that I've done already. My problem is I need more physical donors. I need lots and lots of donors. I don't think I have more than 1,000 donors currently. I need 5,000. I am very short on number of donors. So if you have somebody in your household who's in New York who hasn't donated, please get them to donate. Go to LarrySharpe.com/donate so I get a more number of donate. I got to raise that number up. I got to get to 5,000. That's not easy to do. So please help me out. If you know someone in New York State who hasn't donated, say, hey, do me a favor, donate $5 Larry Sharpe. Again, if you can give me a cup of coffee a month, $5 a month. If you can give me a cup of coffee a day, $100 a month. One a week, $25 a month. I'm asking you to give me a year. Why? Because I'm giving you a year. Please do that. If you haven't already, please, of course, join the volunteer team. It is tonight at 9 p.m., LarrySharpe.com/volunteer. 9 p.m. Eastern is going to be our call to get us to know what's happening, what's going on. It does matter. Please jump on board. I know I bug you constantly because it matters. I'm doing this because it matters. All right, guys, you know the rules. After this, please comment if you would. And please comment on what do you think about Elise Stefanik? Good or bad? Whatever you think, let me know. What do you think about her? Please comment after this live is over. And if you are watching this and it's not live, a couple of videos are going to pop up. Please watch one of them right away. Mr. Rhythm loves that. I'll go Rhythm. I'll see you all very soon.